Hello, hello, hola, konnichiwa, ni hao, what's going on? Shalom. What's going on, Jeromes? Welcome to the live stream. Happy Thursday out there, everyone. It is Thursday, right? I'm not gonna lie. During the off season, days just blend together. All right, it is Thursday. I had to double check. Jerome, thank you very much for coming in to the live stream. We're going to talk a little Minnesota Fighting Vikings, a little NFL, a little Q&A, a little nonsense. It's going to be a good time. Where I'm, the days of the week, it's really easy during the NFL season. Monday Night Football. Tuesday, day off. Wednesday, practice install. And also initial injury reports. Thursday Night Football. Friday, final injury reports and travel day. Saturday is usually travel day. And then Sunday, game day. And it starts all over again. Very easy to understand where you're at, mainly based off of the injury report, but what can you do? We're getting through. Baseball's going to be back. Huzzah. 60-game schedule. End of July. I'm intrigued to see what happens. And also, this does not diminish at all if and when the Minnesota Twins just rip off another World Series, another ring one time. Make it 3. Why not? You guys are absolute rock stars. Thank you very much for coming along on the live stream. If you want to support the work, hit that join box down below. Become a monthly or platinum Jerome. Get yourself a purple check mark. It's really a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. If you're watching on demand, you're kind of cool too. Good times. All right, so we got some Q&A. Also, we asked, how do you get your caffeine? It's a very caffeinated world. We got to stay up. We got to do that thing. I have toyed with the idea of going no caffeine. And it does seem appealing, just working off your own steam, making sure that you get enough rest and then you wake up, you're fresh and you can actually just do things. But I think we've gone too far down the primrose path to just stop cold turkey. Like, on average, I probably drink around 4 cups of coffee a day. It's probably not great. It's probably not ideal. It's mainly all in the morning. So you'll see me. I'll sip a cup of coffee during the live stream. That's probably the last one of the day, because I typically get up around 4. So right away, I mean, that first cup is down. It's actually usually an espresso for the first one. So I mean, that's like butt chug, just like injecting into the veins. Then a couple more throughout the day. I'll usually have a cup of coffee before I work. Actually, no, I lied. So this the second to last one. I'll usually have a cup of coffee before I work out in the afternoon. Maybe I should cut back. I don't know, man. It's weird. But we asked you, how do you get your caffeine? So for me, I don't drink a lot of pop anymore. I used to a lot when I was younger, back in the day. Like, the only way I consume, like, I'll have a Diet Coke now with rum or Captain. But see, for me, coffee. So I generally just like it straight black, strong. And I have gotten recently, since we're doing a lot more keto stuff, so just a splash of heavy cream. I can't do the MCT oil. It just does not agree with my stomach and my digestive system, if you know what I mean. I have found that so coconut oil in like its solid form, not the the MCT version. So I mean, that's fine. Just a little bit of heavy cream or some coconut oil and then a little bit of cinnamon, you're good to go. You're absolutely good to go. So we asked you how you like your coffee, if it is coffee indeed. Purple Rain says bang or rain at the gym in the mornings. Yeah, man, it might just be getting old. So like those bang energies, like they are good, they are tasty, and also like zero sugar because they have all the artificial stuff. But the first time I tried one, I'm pretty sure it was like the sour melon. I felt like I could hear my heartbeat. Like if I just got really quiet, I could be like, ba-bum, ba-bum. Because is it 300 milligrams of caffeine? Nutrition. All right, so yeah, it's beautiful. So 0 calories, 0 fat. It's got creatine in it. It's got all the beautiful things that you want. And caffeine. How much caffeine bang energy? God damn it. How much caffeine bang energy? 74 milligrams. Oh, I lied. Oh, wait, that's one serving. How many servings are in? Oh, no, that's Amp Energy drink. Oh, I was right. 300 milligrams. I was like, I'm not a dummy. I remember reading that. Yeah, I'm definitely not at the point where I'm like prudish and saying that no one should drink caffeine, because I'm, of course, drinking a ton of caffeine myself. But I don't know, man. I don't know. And yeah, Bang was first, and then Rain is like the off brand, right? I mean, they're both good, but yeah. Although I can't stand the cotton candy. Oh, also, so in nutritional supplements, whether it be energy drinks, whether it be pre-workouts, whether it be you especially see this in protein powders. Do you ever notice that new companies, they don't come out with a vanilla or a chocolate or a strawberry, like very recognizable flavors? A lot of times it's like strawberry limeade, or it's like chocolate peanut caramel chocolate peanut butter cup, because it sounds better. Like the marketing, it sounds better, but also your brain doesn't really know what it tastes like. So when it's off, when they're working on balancing their formula and ingredients for the recipe, like if they slip up, or if they have to cut corners to get some cheaper ingredients, like your brain can't really tell. Because you know what chocolate tastes like, you know what vanilla tastes like, you know what strawberry tastes like. But if this brand new, protein powder, half of it is Mexican supplements. It's laced with, slightly laced with anabolic steroids, which some of them are, by the way. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's chocolate marshmallow peanut butter cup. Yeah, chocolate marshmallow peanut butter cup. I would have some serious questions. So there you go. All right, so into the questions. Gage Sanding. Kirk may have been in a Pizza Ranch commercial, but what about Kevin? He was in it too. Kevin who? Kevin Pizza Ranch. Oh, yeah. Can we show this? Yeah, yeah. Frankly, I don't care.
Where'd you get
So
that
who
kind?
is Kevin?
They'll make any pizza I want for the buffet. I just have to ask.
Anyone can ask. It's called Buffet Your Way.
Buffet Kirk's way.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Kirk Cousins has like offered up the fist pound like thousands of times in his life, and probably just been like, nah.
Nope.
He's such a dweeb. Oh my! Our quarterback is a dweeb, and I'm actually okay with that. All right, now we need it as a brooder film. Like, what kind of pizza do you think this is? Actually, we should put out a question in the chat of what kind of pizza do you think Kirk Cousins is? So I'm guessing that's a chicken pizza. I don't know, like a chicken bacon ranch. Actually, chicken bacon ranch might be a little bit too exotic for Kirk. Also, Kirk is on like that Tom Brady diet where you don't eat nightshade vegetables, so I don't even know if he eats pizza. Yeah. All right. Next up is Cody and Sosa. What signing would surprise you if Minnesota makes any more signings this offseason? Well, Everson would be a nice surprise. Klein less so of a surprise. Maybe Logan Ryan, still floating out there. Logan Ryan is still out there, right? Want to make sure I'm not telling lies. Yeah, he's a free agent. All right. Also, drink coffee and cream and lots of sugar. Yeah, a lot of people start out that way. So I started drinking coffee probably 16. Even then, I didn't do a lot of creamer. I didn't do a lot of sugar. Didn't do that stuff. I've never been like a sweet coffee guy, whether it be sugar or artificial sweeteners or even like stevia. Just like never. It's like, it's coffee. Charlie Boltman, caffeine, green tea extract, green coffee bean extract, and coffee. Always cold brew with a little sweet cream. Actually sounds good. That sounds really good. Yeah, iced coffee. I've developed an appreciation for it, especially as summer's here. Is there anything more versatile than potato? It's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can. You can recompose it to other things like pancakes or dip in a milkshake as a fry. You can even call your girl a potato, depending on your girl. That's a good point. I mean, the potato, so it's technically a vegetable, but it's also a starch. It's a carb. Yeah, French fries, mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, hash browns, au gratin. Potato starch is used to fortify a lot of, like canned soups, canned sauces. So that's an application as well. Oh, by the way, like French fries dipped in a milkshake, he's right. Like that's extremely underrated. Like Wendy's French fries with a Wendy's Frosty. I mean, come on, player. That's right. Yeah. Oh, potato chips. So respect there. Is there many potato drinks? I don't know. Joe Stupka. How much of DJ Wanham will we see this year? I think he'll be in the rotation. I think if Fadi and Daniil would be your starters, even if Everson comes back, I think that's how it'll shake out. Wanham, if he gets 10 snaps a game, so that's like 160, that even seems kind of low. 150 to 200 snaps this year. I could see him at least having that. He could play some end. He has played inside before at South Carolina. He has been stand-up linebacker in certain situations. Like, it'd be interesting because at South Carolina, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he was actually lined up in the A gap as like a stand-up linebacker, like Kendricks or Barr on third down in that mug look quite a bit at South Carolina. It's very interesting. Next up is Nick Vananda. Mountain Dew. Every once in a while, I'll get a vanilla white mocha from Caribou. But anyways, keep up the good work. I'm always excited to watch your new vids. Skull, hey, thank you very much for coming along, man. Especially during the off season. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes there's not a lot to talk about. You may see that from some of the topics of the video. It's like, hey, we're breaking down the 17th cornerback for tomorrow. It certainly picks up in the regular season, but also I'm a creature of habit. I do need routine. So the fact that we're getting up and doing 5-6 videos a day, I want that to continue to be a habit because I'm not a person that can just turn things on or off. So, but it's going to pay dividends once we get to the regular season when there's actually things to talk about. And also, I do understand that this is, it sounds really pretentious to call it like a craft, but you do need to get practice in. You do need to get reps in because it's hard, and I'm still frankly trying to get good at it, of talking to a camera and having some personality, because man, I remember watching those first couple of videos. It was like a hostage video. I look like Mike Gundy apologizing, like I am sorry for wearing that t-shirt, or it's like the Minnesota Vikings are not good today. Leslie Frazier probably needs to be fired. That's what it was. It's like, oh, blink twice, or no, like Vietnam POWs. I'm blinking in Morse code. That whole thing. It's here. Yeah, man. So I've been off pop for a while. But if you ever like not drink pop or soda for a long time, and then all of a sudden you get like a diesel, like full sugar, like Mountain Dew or Pepsi or like Coke, especially, and it just tastes like Aunt Jemima. It just tastes like full on syrup. It's just like, how do people drink this every single day? How do people drink? Go out and get like a Big Gulp or one of those big Quick Trip or Super America pops, like 64 ounces. How do you do that every single day and then like work? I just don't know. Also, so white vanilla mocha, so like a mocha, or I don't know. I never got into mochas or lattes or frappuccinos or whatever it was, like all the sort of frou-frou coffee drinks. It's not really me. But I respect how anyone gets their caffeine. World War II General Vince Vaughn. The zero sugar white monsters are my caffeine. Zero sugar white monsters. So, like Nick Bosa on keto. Is that it? I'm picking up on your vocab. I'll say astute all the time now. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I need to. Producer Ali should put together like a thesaurus or a glossary of frequently used phrases. Astute. jabroni, simultaneously. I don't know, there's lots of them out there. Sir Meeps a lot. I get my caffeine through sugary foods and the occasional soda. Wait, what foods have caffeine though? Like chocolate, I guess has caffeine, right? Yeah. Oh, you mean pop? Oh, he's from New York. Yeah, I mean, I understand it's a regional thing. It definitely is pop. It's not soda pop. Like, if anyone says soda pop, they're clearly a time traveler and they should be murdered as such. It is a weird thing though, and for a long time I thought it was an urban legend, but after traveling through the South for a bit, like they do call all sodas, all pops, Cokes. They do. So it's like, what kind of Coke do you want? Oh, I want a Sprite Coke. So it's the damnedest thing, but you know, it's God. I'm having a tough time with words today, like vernacular. There you go, nailed it. Next up is Nick Doroff. I don't have much caffeine, to be honest, but if I do, it's in the form of whiskey and Coke. Like, that is right. Like, once when was the first vodka Red Bull? Because when did that start becoming a thing? Oh, by the way, no, if you have a vodka Bang or a vodka Rain, it's a little bit too much. Invention. Notable futurologist Benjamin Reed in 1999. Bullshit. He should not get credit for that. You mix two things together. You mix booze and a carbonated beverage. You should not be hailed as some sort of genius. It is believed to be an accidental creation, and the original recipe also called for lemonade. So stupid. So dumb. Now, who invented Long Island iced tea? That person deserves a statue. All right, Rosebud, 1972, Oak Beach Inn, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so this is an actual cocktail because you're telling me, son, that you can take gin, tequila, vodka, rum, and then a little bit of triple sec, and then a little bit of Coke, and then just a little bit of sour just for coloring, and you make it not taste like gasoline. This person deserves a medal. Right? The Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor possible. And I'm like half serious. Yeah. Next is, what are your thoughts on NFL playing internationally? Which country would you like to see host a game? I'm kind of indifferent about international. I think it is neat as a one-off thing. I don't think they need multiple games a year because they've expanded. Was it 3 games now? Well, I don't think they're doing it this year. I liked it as a one-off novelty. I understand what they're doing. They're trying to expand the game. I think that it's a finite market, though, because growing the NFL in Europe, I think it's really akin to trying to grow soccer here in the United States. It's just a cultural thing, and sometimes things aren't. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Like. Europe had NFL Europe for a number of years. They're getting NFL games now as technology is making things easier, and it's not really taking. Same thing with soccer here in America. Like since the 60s or 70s, like every kid grew up playing soccer, yet soccer is not popular, and it's been 50, 60 years. Right? So you would think by now it would take off, but I just think culturally it's not in our DNA. It just isn't. I'm not sure if the NFL is in the DNA of Europe as a whole. Now, there's certainly very passionate American-style football fans over in Europe. I know and I'm friends with a bunch of them. But is there enough to sustain a long-term international relations? Probably not. There's certainly not enough to support an NFL team over there. I think that's completely foolhardy. Oh, yeah, so you'll notice this, especially around CBA time, contract negotiations where you take up a false negotiating point and then you drop it as like a concession. So I don't think that there will ever be an NFL team in Europe, but the league can always go to the NFLPA and be like, all right, so if you give us this, we'll say no team in Europe as like some sort of false bargaining position because like you were never like. What to say? Oh, so say you're having an argument with your wife, and then you say, not even an argument, just like a discussion. It's like, say you don't want to go to the new Matthew McConaughey rom-com movie, say, whatever it is. Like, you don't want to go to that. But you don't want to just be like, I don't want to go, but you bring up, hey, I want a new bass boat. And then she's like, no, you shouldn't get a new bass boat. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll make a deal. I won't get a new bass boat if I don't have to go to the Matthew McConaughey movie. Then it's a deal. Instead of you being a dick, it's actually a compromise. It works. It does work. All right, next up. Mobdul99. Ian Rappaport said training camp will start on July 28th. Any thoughts? You think they'll push it back? That's the approximate date when training camps usually start. I think that, well, the NFL is going to benefit from going later than the other leagues. So the NBA will be back by then. Baseball training camp will be wrapping up by then. I think the regular season starts at the end of July. So they'll have like a decent amount of data just to see like what works, what doesn't work. Is this feasible? So I'm hopeful that they'll have training camp. I don't think that they'll have as many preseason games. They already canceled the Hall of Fame game, but again, who gives a shit? Ethan Moon. If it's pour over homebrew coffee, then black. If it's one of those bad quality coffees that's been started too early in the morning, got cold and has been reheated twice, cafe style coffees, and then I like it with whitener. Never heard it called whitener, but I guess that makes sense. Yeah, if you're making coffee at home, like pour over or French press, there's nothing better than just like straight up. It's like whatevs. But if you're at the gas station or if you're at a larger coffee retailer, sure. Tree J. Do you remember Moritz Boehringer Mobo? God, yes, I do. Do you think there'll ever be a star player that comes from outside of North America? So, if you don't remember, so Moritz Jerome Ezekiel, no, he's not even worth that. Moritz Boehringer. He came from Europe. He was part of the Schwäbisch Unicorns, which is part of the German, some German-American league. It doesn't matter. He wasn't even the leading receiver on his team, by the way. There was another guy who I believe was American, was over there. He had a tryout with, I think it was with the Packers. Didn't quite work out. But yeah, Mobo, he's like 6'4", 220, fast as hell, strong, and was supposed to be the next Randy Moss. He grew up idolizing Randy Moss and yada yada yada. And then the entire time, he's talking to NFL Network. Oh, Mike Mayock, I love the Vikings. They're Guten Tag, and I hope that they draft me. And then the Vikings just lit a 6th-round pick on fire to take him, where they could have had him in the 7th round. They could have had him as a UDFA. They didn't need to spend a draft pick on him. I understand it's a 6th-round pick, but anyone except for Mobo. No one is picking him up. And then, so the Vikings light the 6th-round pick on fire as a PR stunt, right? This kid want to grow the game internationally. He grew up as a Vikings fan. Everything is hunky-dory. That's why I was not on board with Denzel Mims just because he's a Vikings fan. Who gives a shit, what team he grew up rooting for? So you would think that they would just really work this angle of an international player growing the game, lots of interviews. No, Mobo never did a single interview. I'm pretty sure he never even did a print interview. Like, they walled him off from media as much as possible. The years here, he was never available for scrums or media availability, just nothing, right? So he just like withered on the vine, was terrible in training camp, was terrible in preseason, just never got the time of day, and eventually they just punted. I think he was a tight end with the Bengals in camp last year, I'm pretty sure. International player, maybe. Well, do like Samoan linemen count? Because I think that's the way that they have to go. Either like Samoan Pacific Islander linemen. Maybe you get a guy like Babs coming in. And maybe in Australia, maybe an Aussie rules football guy. Maybe a frontline rugby guy comes in. I know that the Niners had that Jared Hayne dude who, didn't work out. And also the Bills, I believe, had a rugby player. And also Big V, the backup offensive lineman for the Eagles. Now he's with the Lions. Actually, I think he's going to have to start with the Lions. Wait, no, am I thinking of someone else? Yeah, I am thinking of someone else. Eagles, rugby. Yeah, Jordan Malata. Yeah, so I screwed that up. The guy's 6'8", 346. He's only 23, and he's already been. No, he turned 23 this year, and he's been in the league for going on year 3, which is just insane. It's funny. Yeah. We'll see if he pans out at something. Next up, Tree J, Colombian straight black coffee. Just put it in my veins. I don't ever get a caffeine rush or energy from caffeine. Just makes me more tired, so I'll drink a cup and pass out 30 minutes later. Question, what are the books you have in the background of the shelf? That's a good-looking question. Oh, knocked over the coffee. All right, so we got Gary Vaynerchuk, Crushing It. It's about getting up, getting after it, doing some work. We got Anthony Bourdain, Kitchen Confidential, which is one of my favorite books. I'll probably read this. This is like my 3rd copy. I'll probably read this like once a year. It's just a really good book. Also, Calvin and Hobbes, can't go wrong. Weirdos from Another Planet was my favorite. I had all the books growing up. This is the only one I can find as of right now. The rest of them, book on smoking meat. We got Dave Ramsey. Book from Hal Moore. All right, so Hal Moore is played by Mel Gibson in the movie We Were Soldiers Once and Young. Just a really good leadership book. American Sniper. Ghost Soldiers. Oh. All right, so 1421. This is a book that should be labeled as fiction, but it's a lot of like pseudo history and a lot of very circumstantial evidence that the Chinese actually discovered America before Columbus got here in 1421. It's super interesting. Like I'm a history nerd, and also I'm a alternate history nerd. Let's see here. Oh, so we got Obama and John McCain representing both sides of the aisle. Yeah, we're not playing politics here. Let's see here. So The Imperial Cruise is a book by James Bradley. That's really good. John Sanford's Secret Prey. This one I have not read yet. The Perfect Kill. 21 Laws for Assassins. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't read that nowadays. And this doesn't always show up in the video, but there's actually an upper shelf. All right, so we got Ben Graham's Intelligent Investor. It's great. It's a little bit dated, but still great fundamental principles if you're looking to get into investing in the stock market. Built to Last, James Collins. It's about organizations and leadership. The Odds by Chad Millman. So this actually follows a couple of professional sports bettors, one of them's a wannabe professional sports bettor. Alan Boston's in here. If you follow poker, you know Alan Boston's funny. Another Dave Ramsey book. Tom Clancy, Clear and Present Danger. Yeah, even though I'm mainly an audiobook guy, I've started to collect various books. Battles of the Ancient World. This one's really good. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Ken A. Get some. How does a smaller force encircle a larger force? This. It's good. Let's see what else here. All right, so Al Michaels' book, Can't Make This Up. Jack Welch, leadership book. G. That jabroni. Millionaire Mind, another good mindset book, as well as I've not read this one, but what do I do with my money? I guess someone that just hangs out. Jack Canfield's Success Principles. I do like a lot of mindset books. All right, so Professional No-Lid Hold'em. Ed Miller's a stud. Who would win, polar bears or a grizzly bear? I don't know how this one got here, but I like that one. Another copy of Bourdain, as well as Band of Brothers. Stephen Ambrose was a legend. R.I.P. He's just really, really good. So that's it. I need to redo my shelf anyway, so that's it. Yeah, we'll go through. I have a bunch of other books. I'm mainly into audiobooks now because I feel like I with my personality, I just can't like sit and like read because I feel like that's sort of wasted. So I always have audiobooks so I can just like do something, even if it's as menial as like, cleaning or doing dishes or going on a walk or working out. I feel like I absorb that better. Plus, I just learn better through audio. All right, next up. Taylor Greeno. What do you think about ESPN ranking the Vikings 17th best roster? Well, you're in luck. There's a full video. Go check that out. I think it's bullshit. Mobdul99. I'm not really a coffee guy. I get my caffeine through sugary foods amount. Not the healthiest option. Oh, that's something different. Yeah, it's probably not ideal. Pulford Skull. Dak. Dark roast and straight black. Been drinking coffee since I was 5. My grandpa in his woodworking shop. Don't put none of that cream or sugar garbage in there. Neither, son. Death Wish or Starbucks. Coffee, our go-to in the Keurig every morning. Also, the Skull Caribou coffee is actually legit. Yeah. So we got this bag for show, but I've drank other bags before. It's actually pretty good. My family mails me some down here in the old Tennessee from Minnesota. I love Tennessee. Tennessee's a good time. Next up is Sandman66. Would you rather have Kirk or Prime Dante? Take my coffee black. It doesn't taste as good, but it's far more refreshing that way. Man, peak Dante was a damn, like, he probably should have been MVP in 04. I'm going to go Dante. Yeah. Let us know where you're watching from. I'll give a couple shouts in the live stream. I always enjoy doing that. You guys are the best. All right, Preacher Paul, hauling it for all y'all. Love coffee, brew my own in the truck, brew 10 cups, fill my Yeti thermos and stainless steel mug with organic Guatemalan coffee, half and half, no sugar. I like it strong as I roll around 750 miles a day and average 4,000 miles a week. Love coffee. Thank you, Andy. Keep growing and showing. Love you, man. Thank you very much for supporting it. That actually sounds good, man. That's the thing too. Like I mainly do Keurig during the week. And I'll do French press on the weekend. We actually have some more time, but the key to doing that is French press, and it's usually enough for like 2 servings for me. Put 1/2 in a thermos or like a stainless steel, something that retains heat. And especially if you like brew pots of coffee, get that thing off of the burner, shut off the machine, just fill a thermos, so that you don't cook out, the tannins, you don't reduce it, you don't do stuff like that. Otherwise it'll become bitter. Next up is Luke Kolstad. I don't think I'm a monster, but I don't drink coffee ever. I used to at my last job, so if I did, it's in the small 2 hazelnut creams. You said you don't drink coffee ever, but then you just said you did. How dare you? Don't know when to believe your lies. Other than I don't know how to get my caffeine. Food? How much caffeine can you get from food? Now, actually, I'm curious. Because it's just chocolate, right? But baked goods containing chocolate? Yeah. Are people confusing just like sugar with caffeine? That could be it. Pancakes, waffles, or French toast? I would say waffles. I get more excited for waffles. Pancake, yeah, like Mitch Hedberg said, pancakes are really good like the first couple bites and then you get sick of them. On occasion, we'll do like a banana bread French toast, which is just like dudes, gentlemen, if you're single and you just want to learn some rudimentary, basic cooking skills, learning how to make banana bread, A, and B, banana bread French toast. Yeah. So do that. All right. Couple shout outs. So we got Purple Rain. Skull from Wausau, Wisconsin. Husgamer 15. Skull from Fridley, Northern Burbs. What is up? Kyle Rippentrop. Skull from Lenox, just south of Sioux Falls. Isn't that almost in Nebraska then? As well as Devon A. Toff. Skull from Playa del Rey, California. I love California, except the state is run by idiots, which really sucks. Now, California weather is great. Also, I love the people in California. There's tons of them. Maybe a little bit too densely populated. Just love the infusion of like Asian and Mexican African American, like all the cultures just come together in LA. It's a great food town, but also, man, everyone's gonna get run out of town and move to Texas. Like, if you want similar weather to LA, move to Galveston. Still on the ocean, a little bit more humid. You have to put up with hurricanes, but then you trade it off for dealing with earthquakes. I mean, would you rather have an earthquake or a hurricane? I would rather have a hurricane because at least there you get a at minimum 24 hours notice ahead of time. Like you can see that mofo come from a mile away. Earthquake is just like, you don't know, man. You just don't know. Next up, Tyrone long dick style. T. Higgins or Justin Jefferson? In terms of quality or in terms of like fantasy football, the rookie year? Long term, give me JJ for sure. But I could see T. Higgins, depending on the health of AJ Green. I think the Bengals are going to be down quite a bit. And I think Burrow will just sling it all over the yard. So I could see Higgins racking up a ton of targets, a ton of stats, empty haulage, garbage, catch up stats. But, I mean, it's fantasy football. It still spends the same. So, rookie year, I would... Well, Higgins is going to have to compete with Boyd and A.J. Green if he's there. Jefferson, I think, pretty easily slides into wide receiver 2 here for the Vikings. Plus, he's going to be a PPR monster. So, I'll still go Justin Jefferson, even though I was trying to talk myself into T. Higgins. A couple more shout-outs. We got Zach Farmer, Skull from work, Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte is a great town. By the way, I just watched we just rewatched Logan Lucky, which is it's a good movie. Like, it's not. So it's directed by Steven Soderbergh, same guy who directed all the Ocean's 11 movies. So it's like a Southern fried Ocean's 11. The pacing, it's a little bit slow. It's not as fast and snappy as the Ocean movies, but Daniel Craig is great. Channing Tatum, I think, is underrated. Adam Driver's great in everything. Like, name me something that Adam Driver isn't good at, or a movie that he isn't great in. Also, like Elvis's granddaughter's in the movie. It's just a good movie all the way around. I say that because part of the movie, they robbed Charlotte Motor Speedway. So there you go. But never is elite. Zach Ballast skull from NoCo. What's going on? Scott Schultz skull from Matamidi. Actually, that's a good test to tell if someone's from Minnesota or not. Have them pronounce Matamidi or Monticello. Yeah. Skull from 1 hour west of the Twin Cities. What's going on? Noah Eddington skull. What's up, Manny, from Laredo, Texas? I love Texas. Texas is a great state. It was really good. As I knock my books over. Next up, Charlie Boltman. 3 things I absolutely guarantee will happen. Tajay Sharp, Riley Reef, Anthony Zettel will be cut. One of the 3, or just trying to hit that trifecta? I think Reef is probably safe, although I think he's a pay cut candidate. I think Zettel will make it. I feel like his versatility is going to be his best attribute. Unless those kids are ready to step up and Everson comes back, I think Zettel makes it. I think Tajay probably makes it too. And if you gave me the choice between all 3 of them making it or not, I would bet on all 3 of them making it. Should the Vikings take a shot at Aqib Talib? Is that pun intended? Because he shot himself. Maybe a Sherman come out same injury. I kind of like Tony Jefferson as a cursed replacement, though. I think Jefferson's aged out. I don't mind the youth movement in the secondary. And with Aqib, nah. Stanley Morris, who's winning in a fight? Jean-Claude or Dave Carradine in his prime? Jean-Claude, pretty easily. Look, David Carradine was a bad mother. No, it's Jean-Claude. Luke Kolstad, have you ever listened to Justice and Drew Twin Cities News Talk? No, I don't consume a lot of local media. So I know Drew from poker, though. So, played with him before a bunch of times. He's actually been on the show. Also, I know Sam Sansevier, who's our producer. Know her dad, Bob. But yeah, I don't listen to a lot of local talk. HusGamer15, are you planning on getting a next-gen console? Nah. Like, I have a PS4. It's good enough. I don't play a ton. We actually mainly just use it as a Blu-ray player, which is kind of funny. That's what happens when it gets old. Because I don't know, like maybe it's just my personality, maybe it's just getting older, but I feel like especially during the summer, especially being here in Minnesota when we have a finite amount of nice weather, I feel like if I'm sitting on my butt playing video games for even like a half an hour, I feel like I've just wasted time. Yeah. Pulford Skull, assuming we make some cuts, would you trade for AJ Green? No. Oh, well, if they don't sign Harris long term, I don't think you can trade for AJ Green unless you give him a long term deal, because I don't think you can have two franchise tag guys, even if one of them came from another team. I need to change scenery, but I mean, if the Bengals ever let him go, yeah. Stanley Morris, coffee, just a medium roast, preferably Maxwell House, cream only, Coffee Mate, original be exact, very basic but delicious. The first cup of coffee with a cigarette early in the morning. Yeah, I haven't smoked in a long time. Well, cigarettes. But yeah, I used to be a smoker, and I don't know, I wasn't really much about that morning cigarette. I was much more of a social drinker smoker, and since I drank a lot, smoked a lot. Yeah. But yeah, medium. I'm good with medium roast. I used to be a dark roast guy. Kind of got away from that. I'm not in the light roast or breakfast blend realm yet, though. But just give it a couple more years, maybe I will be. Travis, coffee, pure black, coffee right out of the pot. It's just the best, no argument. Who do you like as the Vikings' number one punt and kick returners? I think right now your favorites are probably going to be KJ Osborne and Amir Abdullah for both jobs. Or could see a spot where Amir is the kick returner and KJ is a punt returner. Could see that. I don't drink pop or coffee. How dare you? So just my regular sugar intake. Sugar. What's the over-under on years until PJ Fleck leaves? That's a good-looking question. Well, I'm trying to think of jobs that Fleck would leave for. Certain SEC jobs. Although, whoever follows Saban at Alabama, I don't want that job. I just don't. Maybe Fleck would leave for Florida State once that reopens again in a couple of years. I've always felt like Notre Dame is PJ Fleck's calling, because he grew up in the Midwest, right? I knew he went to Northern Illinois. Yep, Sugar Grove, Illinois. So, he's from Notre Dame country. Oh, yeah, definitely from Notre Dame country. So, he understands the allure of that. He grew up in a bygone era when Notre Dame was still a thing. If Brian Kelly ever left or got fired, I could see Fleck making a move there. It's, a la Lou Holtz, when he went from the Gophers straight to Notre Dame. But actually, I hope it's not for a while. Like I've said, I'm not like a huge verbose Gophers fan, but I do like when the local team does well. I do think PJ Fleck has a great temperament. I think he's a very good leader for college football. I think he's a great recruiter, which is 9/10 of the battle in college, in the college game. So yeah, I think that they are building something special. I do like Tanner Morgan. I do like Rashad Bateman. So over under 2.5 years. Man, could you imagine if the Gophers went to the Rose Bowl? Right. When's the last time the Gophers went to the Rose Bowl? The 60s? Sorry. Last time Gophers Rose Bowl. 1962. Oh, man. The Gophers defeated the Bruins 21-3. In your face, Kendricks and Barr and Jeff Locke and Chris Cluey and Nate Metters and there's got to be other. Kevin McDermott. Did he go to UCLA? Haha! Suck it. Actually, that's a great game. If you're ever in on a road trip with with other football fans, just name off players and name their alma mater. I mean, it's a fun game. It is. Next up, Eric Hansen. What sports news reference do you consume? What sports news sources do you consume? When are you going to collaborate with other YouTubers? When are you going to do a video about just politics or players getting injured? Just kidding. Keep up the good work. Sports news. I mean, I guess just following a couple of Twitter feeds. That's it. For national football, Schefter, Rappaport, Pro Football Talk. Although I will say that Florio is hard to follow since he's beginning on his politics jag, but it's an election year, so everyone's a little bit crazy. Locally, Doogie, Arif, Cronin, Ekstrom, all the local Smokies. But I don't read a lot. Like, I mainly get the headlines, then I do my own research. It's usually those things because, like we said, it's why we don't listen to any local sports. It's why we don't really listen to any local media, to be honest. It's because we never want to be accused of sampling ideas, and whether consciously or subconsciously. Because you ever hear something and you'd be like, that's interesting, and then it comes out of your mouth, like hours or days later. Yeah, so I never want to be accused of that. What was like original takes, and that's what we want to give you guys. We're going to collaborate with other YouTubers. Never. We're going to do a video about just politics or players getting injured. I don't know, man. Like, I obviously have thoughts on things. I'm a red-blooded, tax-paying American, but it's really divisive, really hot-button issues. Everyone comes out dirty. Nah. I'm even apprehensive to talk about Kaepernick in an actual football context. So, yeah. Grant H. What do you see happening with fans in stadiums? We're still riding this first COVID wave, and it's not stopping anytime soon. Maybe stadium policy will differ from state to state. Caffeine, black tea, 2/3 tea, 1/3 milk. Tea's good. I've never put milk in tea. I understand it's a British thing, but man. Fans of stadiums. I don't agree that the league is going to go state by state, stadium by stadium, because that gives a massive competitive advantage. Say stadiums that are in less populated states or states that have big of a restriction. So, like the Texas or Florida teams or the Falcons versus, the Jets and the Giants, in New Jersey, so close to Manhattan. So I think it should be blanket across the board. That being said, I do think that crowds will be either zero or sparse to start. And as the fall comes along and see if there's a second or tertiary wave, we'll see. It's TBD. Purple Rain. Cronin annoys me with some of her comments. I like Courtney. She's cool. I don't understand. There you go. Next up is between us adding Dom Capers, high havoc DBs, pass rushing D linemen, and coverage linebackers. How excited are you to see our blitz packages? Side note: if the cap goes down because of the corona, take away 10 sub big advantages, 15 rookie contracts, another 10 next year. Would be pretty big. Also, 12 rookies from last year's class, also important. We did a video on this like a month ago, where if the cap, I don't think the cap will be just completely deep impacted, because I think that would be stupid for teams to all of a sudden contracts you already have on the books, contracts that you have to honor. Well, some of them you have to honor, and then all of a sudden just the cap goes from 200 million to 160. I don't see that happening. What I see happening is that the cap will stay stagnant for X number of years for inflation to re-catch up with it. So if that takes 5 years and the cap remains 200 million and then eventually revenue catches back up, then I think that would make more sense. But yeah, with Capers, I'm looking forward. I want some full-on Pittsburgh Steelers 3-4 zone blitz-esque looks. Let's just go. Kyle Rippentrop. I was basically raised on a farm, so black is the only way I take my coffee to get caffeine. Also the occasional Coke or Pepsi. I'm not a Mountain Dew fan. Was the largest vehicle machine you've ever driven, and can you drive a stick shift? So stick shift, yes. I actually learned to drive on a stick. So my grandpa had this little, like Chevy S10, like 4-cylinder, stick shift, and it was good. I actually wouldn't have it any other way, because if you can drive stick, you can drive anything, right? And I remember the first day. So I got my permit in like December. Right. So the first time I was driving, there was this little hill near our house. So right away, like not even like, hey, let's try this on some roads, start and stop. We'll start you off in the parking lot. Right away, he puts me on this hill, which is like a 70-degree incline. So I'm just sitting there at the top of the hill. And I got my foot on the clutch and on the brake. I'm just like terrified. It's like, I'm gonna kill this thing, or we're gonna roll down this hill and we're gonna die. And you learn. So I was bad driving stick for like the first 2 lessons, but then I feel like something with muscle memory, it just like clicks at a certain point, because from the 3rd lesson on, perfectly fine driving stick. Largest vehicle I ever driven, I guess a tractor, or the largest U-Haul truck you can drive without needing a CDL. We've driven those before. Those are also sticks too, which is a little disconcerting, but yeah, if you can drive, it's fine. So that's probably the biggest for me. Brian Kayukin. Black coffee, Nespresso Lungo, pre-workout. Yay. Oh. Wait, JK. Cook gets abducted by aliens in preseason or forces a trade. What's your high-end production estimation for Madison? I got him at 1,400 yards, 490 12 touchdowns. I think if Dalvin went away, Madison would be that alpha dog. I think he would be a 3-down back. I think he would mop up most of the work. And 1,800 all-purpose yards, maybe like 15, 16 touchdowns. That's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. Last 2, Andy Maxfield. Coffee blacker than Mike Zimmer's heart. Oh, Mike Zimmer's got a big heart, though. He's actually a big softy. I hate them now, and not because of Diggs, but because they think they matter. Are the Bills a locked top 5 team in the AFC? I think they are. Adding Diggs to that mix, they already have a great defense. I like Sean McDermott. I like Leslie Frazier a lot. Yeah, I think that they're... I think they are betting favorites to win the East. So, yeah, that would put them in the top 5. Chase and Gelke. I've been drinking coffee for a few years now. It needs to be black. That's the only way. That's right. Man after my own heart. All right. Live chat. You guys are the best. Thank you very much for coming along. You guys are rock stars. I'll be back tomorrow. Again, Fridays, 9 a.m. Central Time. We'll be up early and getting on with our day. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for coming along. Ladies as well. We got a couple ladies in the chat. You guys are the best. And, thanks for coming on the live stream. Thanks for doing the damn thing. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Skol. Production value.